First day of June, and it's starting to look like it. Strong winds blew through the Denver metro area this afternoon, dropping a whole lot of hail. Here's a time lapse from the Aurora Municipal Center where it looked like the snow was falling. And that really wasn't half of it. Many of you sent in pictures of videos as well of a funnel cloud in the South Metro area around Castle Rock. There's no confirmation of any tornadoes. We're glad you're with us. I'm Kim Christensen.
It was certainly trying. And I'm Phil Lipoff. It was a wild day of weather, so we want to get right to it. 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is with us. Corey, this day had almost everything.
Wow, it sure did, and it was really ominous across the Denver metro early on. We had 2 thunderstorms move across the area. Just isolated stuff, but man, they packed a big punch. This is live radar right now. We're still seeing some thunderstorms out there. The severe potential is gone, and the severe thunderstorm watch has been lifted, but in the overnight hours, we can continue to see a few of these showers moving across the area, especially on the eastern plains. And rain was part of the formula today. Some spots got some really good stuff. Take a look at the rain accumulation estimated by radar. All these blue areas, that's about a ½ inch to an inch of water. So Highlands Ranch, North Denver, and check this out. This little purple blotch, that is the bullseye for heavy rain. 1½ to 2½ inches. That's true. That's how much rain fell in that area. Just south of DIA, you can see I-70, Colfax Avenue, Airport, Tower. So that's the area that really got hit with some big rain. As far as those storm reports, let's put these storms in motion. 2 storms moving through the Denver area. All these little icons are hail reports. Mostly 1-inch hail, but we got 2 reports of golf ball size hail, and also those funnel clouds down in the Denver metro, South Denver metro. Those were all different angles of one tornado, one funnel cloud that was popped up down there. This is a video from yesterday, but we'll continue to watch the forecast, and I'll have more on the information for tomorrow, where there's going to be more thunderstorms in the forecast once again. That's in just a few minutes, guys.
Corey, thanks. And for some, it was a day to dig out the snow shovels, but not, as you saw, to shovel snow.
No, because that's what we do in Colorado. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch takes us to a neighborhood where the hail piled up.
We're near Chambers Road and 6th Avenue in Aurora, where things have calmed down and dried off, but it was definitely a different sight earlier today. Take a look at what we found in this neighborhood. People living here tell us they heard hail come down for at least an hour. Pea to marble-sized hail covered lawns and cars. Trees didn't stand a chance against the storm either. Limbs were left bare and leaves scattered across the ground. Most people out here spend their afternoons shoveling hail out of driveways and off cars. One man says he'll likely be stuck with some water damage on his property.
You know, I had to go to my backyard also because I had a shed that was open, a window, and I had to close it, and inside was just full of water, so it was pretty bad.
That man tells us he was very happy that he was at home at the time of this storm. He says usually he leaves a Corvette out in his driveway, but luckily he was able to get it inside before the storm rolled through. In Aurora, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Janelle, thank you. Tina Peters is now a free woman. She was released from prison today, less than 2 years into her 9-year sentence. The former Republican Mesa County clerk was convicted in 2024 of several felonies for allowing fellow election deniers access to local voting systems in their search for voter fraud. Democratic Governor Jared Polis granted her clemency last month, arguing she was over-sentenced for expressing inaccurate but constitutionally protected views. It was a move that Polis was formally censured for by the Colorado Democratic Party Central Committee. Just hours after her release, Peters appeared on the Steve Bannon Show, saying she stands ready to help President Trump prove that America's elections are rigged.
I know that the Democrats are going to cheat. And no one's really addressing the problem that that I spent my time in prison as retribution for, and that was exposing the election machines that allow the votes to be flipped.
Vice President J.D. Vance had previously suggested that Peters could get restitution from a $1.8 billion fund for people who claim to have been prosecuted unfairly. But today, after bipartisan fierce pushback and legal scrutiny, the Trump administration said it was abandoning that idea.
The same day Tina Peters walked out of prison, a federal judge ruled the Trump administration acted unlawfully when it moved to dismantle a Boulder weather lab, in part because of her. The ruling blocks the federal government from transferring NCAR's supercomputer center away from the nonprofit that runs the lab, while a lawsuit plays out. 9 News reporter Spencer Soischer has been covering this story. And Spencer, tell us what the judge said.
So the judge ruled the federal government ignored its own rules and processes for decisions like this. And he also found the move was driven, at least in part, by the Trump administration's feud with Colorado over Tina Peters. President Donald Trump promised harsh measures for Colorado if convicted elections clerk Tina Peters was not freed from a state prison. And a federal judge says one of those ways was breaking up NCAR, a federal lab in Boulder at the forefront of weather science and research.
We're sort of the unfortunate victims, along with a lot of other Colorado programs.
Tim Frederick worked at NCAR before his retirement was sped up last year by the uncertainty circling the lab.
Might have worked longer. It's hard to say.
On the same day Peters walked out of prison early, a federal judge blocked the federally run National Science Foundation from transferring NCAR's supercomputer center away from UCAR, the Boulder nonprofit that runs the lab.
I have followed the court case. I read it in detail. I have been very concerned.
Judge R. Brooke Jackson, an Obama appointee, wrote in his order that the feds never actually gave a reason for taking away the supercomputer center in the first place, and that, quote, no action followed until President Trump publicly criticized Governor Polis for refusing to release Ms. Peters after his own pardon did not achieve that result. The judge said the government failed to follow its own process to consider public feedback before just going ahead and doing it. And if there was doubt about if that was really what happened here, the point is, quote, considerably strengthened by the fact that the federal government simultaneously undertook several other actions adverse to Colorado. Actions like vetoing a clean drinking water project in southern Colorado, relocating Space Command from Colorado Springs, and denying disaster aid for wildfires and floods.
That has been a serious concern of mine, that this is all driven by politics. It's all reactionary.
One of the reasons the judge said he believed the injunction was needed is that NCAR is now losing employees, and rapidly. Employees who see the writing on the wall for the place. Tim says he saw it too, but it wasn't the sole reason that he decided to retire. It just sped it up. Spencer Soischer, 9 News.
A former town councilor from Mountain View is locked up tonight after he was convicted of assault and illegal use of a firearm in a 2024 shooting. Brent Metz has been charged with second-degree assault, but the jury convicted him of lesser third-degree assault, which is a misdemeanor. He was convicted, though, of a felony illegal discharge of a firearm, which is why the judge said he had no choice but to take Metz into custody before sentencing. This all stems from a shooting where two teens were on his property in Conifer, scouting out locations for homecoming photos. The pair tried to knock on the door, but no one answered, so they left, and Metz confronted them off the property. He says he slipped when he was moving his gun, and the gun went off. His attorneys say the conviction on the gun charge and the jury's decision not to convict on the more serious assault charge don't add up.
Respect the jury's verdict, obviously, and understand that they spent a long time thinking about it, but he was found not guilty of recklessly discharging the firearm, but then found guilty of recklessly discharging the firearm in a separate count. So the elements are the same in terms of recklessness. So we're having a hard time finding that those are compatible.
Metz is due back in court June 15th for sentencing. He could face up to 3 years in prison.
A new stone marker in front of the Boulder County Historic Courthouse pays tribute to the people targeted in that anti-Semitic firebombing attack on Pearl Street at the mall 1 year ago today. On June 1st of last year, a man targeted a group walking to raise awareness of the Israeli hostages being held captive by Hamas. The attack killed Karen Diamond, a woman in her 80s. It injured about a dozen others. The new stone marker has the date of the attack etched in English and in Hebrew. The county plans to build a remembrance garden there as well.
In the Jewish religion, one of the traditions that we have is to take a stone and to put it on a grave to remember and to say, I've been here and I remember. And so yesterday I took a stone and put it on that plaque, and so did other people, and it was really meaningful.
The memorial will be more formally unveiled this weekend at the start of the Boulder Jewish Festival.